All right, here we go. We're back in the building. Oh, man. It's gonna be a spicy one today. Y'all know what to do. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. We're looking all crispy and clean on the screen. And welcome, guys. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the ClassE Morning Show. I'm your host, ClassE, of patreon.com/ClassEbeats, by the way. Make sure you check it out. The link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. We got some breaking news today. We're going to talk about it here. I know everyone who's here has seen it and is ready to pop off about what's going on with this grand juror who is allegedly somehow tied to the Karen Reed case. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about what's going on there. We're going to hear from TB himself. He won't be here on the live stream, but he's been talking about it for the past 24 hours, and he's got some tweets we're going to read and also hear some video from him. And then we're going to move into some responses from folks on the internet who have not only been following the Karen Reed trial, but have also maybe put some pieces together on what's going behind the scenes with this federal probe. And then we're going to do a little rewind. I promise y'all we would have an Officer Dever rewind today, and we're going to get into it. But before we get started, I got to say what's up to the people. I know we're going to have a lot of new folks in here this morning as well. Oh, it's going to be a fun one, man. How are y'all doing? Of course, first thing, we've got my awesome, amazing Amy in here showing up and showing out, showing some love. We've got, let me see. Oh, shout out to Tall Red is in the building. We've got my dog Les Cleaver's in here. Taco Tuesday is in the building. Jay Buckmaster, good to see you. A Fitz is up in here. Kara Hampton, as always. We got Paua Eyes is in the building. We've got, oh, I missed a couple of y'all, I know, but shout out to all the members in here, and thank you guys for being here. So, I don't ask for much on this channel, but the one thing I do ask is that you guys like the video. All right, not only are likes free, but it does help the channel continue to grow. Lets the algorithm know you guys are enjoying the show. It shares the video, this channel, this live stream out with more people. So if you guys could take a second and like the video, I would appreciate it. Also, if you're feeling extra generous, you can share the video as well. Super easy to do. Just click the share button and you can share it to Facebook, Instagram, X/Twitter. You can share it to your group chat through text. That's absolutely amazing. So if you guys are feeling generous, please go ahead and share that as well. And I appreciate everyone who's done it. I also will be reading super chats as we go throughout the show. So many of y'all like to go the extra mile and send in super chats. So I appreciate it. And I'll be reading those shortly. How is everybody doing this morning? I want to start. I know this has been this is going to be a dicey subject, and I want to see how y'all are feeling this morning, because a lot of you, I know you're already are up in arms and you're trying to protect your people. It's okay. If you're new to the platform, first of all, guys, let me say, keep it respectful. We value and appreciate differing opinions here, opinions from both sides. But the one thing I ask is that you guys just keep it respectful, willing to have the conversation, willing to have a back and forth, as long as we act like adults. Well, I can't even say adults anymore. As long as we act like mature adults and we're having a conversation. All right. So thank you to everyone who's in here showing love as well. We got Mama G in the building. What's up, Mama G? Sunshine. H-Town is up in here. Stokes is in the building too. Let me read a couple of these super chats and we'll get right into it, because I know y'all are ready to go. Les Cleaver with the 5 bomb says, Lord, grant us love, peace, and tolerance, understanding, and grace. Amen and amen. Stay cool and be blessed as always. Thank you, Les Cleaver, one of the hardest working guys that I know. Hope you have a great work day as well, and I appreciate you. Kara Hampton is in here as well with the 2 bomb. Says, it's hump day. Have a great day on purpose as always. Absolutely, Kara. Thank you for that. We're going to do it. It's up to you guys. Have a great day or not. We got Penny Neal is in the building as well. Mature, rational adults. Yes. Oh, man. I see y'all. Everybody wants to let me know. You don't know what you're talking about. It's not about the guys. Relax. Okay. I even added a question mark in the title for you guys. So the title of the video says, Karen Reed trial juror gets caught and charged by the feds? Question mark. What? All right. And I actually need to change the title because I put get and not gets. I can't even make the title right. Lord have mercy. Let me change that for y'all start coming for you. So guys, we are here to have a conversation. All right. I don't believe, and we're going to hear a lot of opinions today from a lot of people about what they think is going on. I think the only ones that have the true story are going to be the woman we'll talk about here, Jessica Leslie, and possibly the federal government. Now, we're going to hear some theories. We're going to hear some background story on what's going on, and then you guys can make the decision. That's the great thing about this platform. Unless we see the actual physical evidence of something, we won't report it as facts. Okay, so we're just having a conversation. Y'all relax. It's going to be okay. All right. My awesome, amazing Amy is in here gifting 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Amy, make sure that you say thank you. All right. Show some love. All right. Shout out to everyone who's just joining. We've got Poetic Justice in here. Looks like Chloe's mom got a membership as well. And then Amy with the 2 bomb says hump on purpose on hump day. That's what Karen meant. Shout out to Amy over there humping on purpose. What did he say? You know what time it is. Okay, let me see. Okay, y'all said we're glitching. We should be good. I should have fixed the glitch issue. So let me know if everything's good. We should be okay. Shout out to FSU MSW93 says, thanks for covering this. Yeah, we're going to have a conversation about it. Shout out to John Baggs. Nana Banana is up in here as well. Good morning to Nana Banana. And speaking of bananas, happy bananiversary to Amy as well. It's our bananiversary, guys. If you don't know what the bananiversary is about, you got to go back and watch it. I'm sure Amy will explain what the bananiversary is. Happy bananiversary to Amy. All right. And thanks for covering this. Yeah, thank y'all for being here. I'm gonna quit talking because we've got a lot to get to. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into our first topic of today, and y'all know what it is. We are up here and going to talk about what's going on with this grand juror. Oh, and shout out to Amy with the banana. There it is. And then we'll get into it. All right. Shout out to Amy with the banana, reminding me about the bananiversary. I appreciate it. And let me double check and make sure we're good. Okay. I'm not seeing anything. Good to see y'all in here. All right, cool. Here we go. So let me go ahead and get this up there. All right. So you guys have heard over the past 24 hours, this is some breaking news, that a grand juror allegedly related to or connected to the Karen Reed trial or the Karen Reed investigation has been found guilty on charges. So what the charges are, we're going to get into it here in just a second. We're going to find out exactly what the plea was. I'll take you guys through the document and show you what went down. But before we get into that, let's hear and get an idea of what's going on with this entire situation, because it's weird and embarrassing to say the least.
Woman is now admitting that she broke the law by leaking secret information about the Karen Reed case. ABC News has confirmed that Jessica Leslie served on the grand jury investigating Reed and the death of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. It is illegal to disclose what happens in grand jury proceedings. Leslie has pleaded guilty to a charge of criminal contempt. She will serve 2 years of supervised release. Also at 6.
2 years of supervised release? Really? That's it? We're going to talk about what she possibly could have been facing for releasing this type of information. But guys, I have served on the grand jury. I have not served on a federal grand jury, but grand jury's grand jury. And during these times, the DA's office is very particular about what information you have. They're specific about what information you have to release. You can release, what you can talk about, and basically it's nothing. Don't talk about it when you leave here. If you have a notepad, you got to leave it, put it in the basket, and get out of here. Right? And it's pretty straightforward. But when you're on a grand jury, a lot of times you go through indictments like crazy. There were days when I was serving on the grand jury here in Fulton County, we went through 20, 30, 40, 50 indictments in one day. Absolutely insane. So again, a lot of information. We're going to find out a little bit more about what happened in this specific case and why she might be in trouble here. This is so wild. Grand juror to plead guilty to leaking information in the federal probe of the Karen Reed's case. News 25 reports. What is happening? So hopefully I'm saying this name right, because y'all know the title of these cities in Massachusetts are kind of wild, but a Dracut woman is charged with allegedly leaking information about the federal investigation into the Karen Reed case. Jessica M. Leslie, 34, was charged on July 11th with 1 count of criminal contempt. She has agreed to plead guilty to this charge and will serve 1 day in prison, undergo 2 years of supervised release, and a mandatory special assignment of $100. I know she's over there hurting, guys, right? Now, according to the Boston Globe, Leslie was sitting on the grand jury hearing evidence about the state prosecution of Karen was acquitted of killing her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, during a snowstorm in 2022. All right. So what they're saying is she was sitting on the grand jury hearing evidence about the state prosecution of Karen Reed. So that's what the Boston Globe is reporting. Now we're going to actually move forward and hear what the Massachusetts woman is being charged with from the U.S. State's Attorney's Office. What are they saying here? And they had a press release that is very interesting. So they say this woman has been charged with allegedly disclosing information presented to a federal grand jury to unauthorized individuals. Jessica M. Leslie, 34, was charged Friday, July 11th, with 1 count of criminal contempt. The defendant has agreed to plead guilty and will make an initial appearance in federal court in Boston at a later date. A plea hearing has not yet been scheduled by the court. According to the charging document, on various dates between August 11th, 2022 and March 4th of 2024, the defendant disclosed sealed information to unauthorized individuals, not just one person, but multiple people, right? Including the names of various witnesses appearing before a federal grand jury, the substance of the witness testimony, and other evidence presented to the grand jury in violation of the federal rules and court order. It's no good. No good at all. The charge of criminal contempt provides for a sentence of any term of years in prison, which means the judge can decide whatever the judge wants. This is scary. Can y'all imagine this lady does this and the judge decides to give her 20 years in prison, 5 years of supervised release, and a fine of up to $250,000. Sentences are imposed by a federal district court judge based on the U.S. sentencing guidelines and statutes which govern the determination of a sentence in a criminal case. U.S. Attorney Leah B. Foley and Ted E. Docks, special agent in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Boston, made an announcement today. Assistant U.S. Attorney Ann P., because I'm going to mess up her name, chief of the Major Crimes Unit, is prosecuting the case. The details contained in charging documents are allegations. The defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. Right. So now, as we mentioned, we're going to hear from TB a lot as we cover this because we still got a lot to get to. But he did have something to say when it comes to these allegations and what's being said about this juror and how it's related to the Karen Reed trial. Y'all check this out.
With somebody who this person sent that information to. And this individual was visited by the feds about it, about this post. The post had nothing to do with the Karen Reed case, nothing. And they came with receipts and they're like worried about it. Like the FBI showed up at their door, wanted to look at her phone. It's a fucking, it is a buzzkill. Like this is the biggest but I can't stand watching it. I go online and everyone on both sides, like our side is like, oh man, feds are coming. They're going to get all the McAlberts are all going down. And then the retards on the other side are saying, oh, they're coming after, they're going to get Karen Reed and Turtle Boy and all this shit. They're not, none of that's happening. This is all over a fucking post about the CDL shit. This is a fucking fact, an undeniable fucking fact that this is how this started, was the CDL thing. Now, the woman who is in trouble here, Jessica Leslie, right? She was on the Karen Reed grand jury because you're on they sit you down for a grand jury.
Yep.
You hear all the fucking cases. You hear all of them.
All right. So let's actually see what the federal government is saying and what she was found guilty of. So let's look at this from the United States of America versus Jessica M. Leslie. Check this out. On count 1, criminal contempt. The United States attorney charges from or about August 11th, 2022 through or on or about March 4th of 2024, the District of Massachusetts, the defendant, Jessica M. Leslie, knowingly and willfully disobeyed and resisted a lawful order, rule, decree, and command of a court of the United States. That is the Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 6E2 and the order and command of the Honorable IT, because I'm going to mess up that name, United States District Judge on May 26, 2022, that a grand juror must disclose a matter occurring before the grand jury when or on diverse dates she disclosed information presented to the grand jury to unauthorized individuals, more than one, to wit, the names of various witnesses appearing before the grand jury and the substance of their testimony and other evidence presented to the grand jury, all while said information was under seal and not subject to disclosure. That is bad, guys. Super bad. All in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 4013. Okay. And then we go on. This is signed by the U.S. State's Attorney. There we have it there. And that is Ann P, because I'm going to mess up her name as well. And that was on July 11th of this month. So then we're going to go into, check this out, and let me make sure I have this right. So what was the plea? Here's the plea here. We've got Attorney Halpern, hopefully I said that right, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Massachusetts, and your client Jessica Leslie, the defendant, agree as follows, pursuant to Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure, Rule 11C1C. Change of plea. As soon as practicable, defendant will waive indictment and plead guilty to count 1 of the information, the criminal contempt in violation of 18 U.S.C. Defendant admits that defendant committed the crime specified in this count and is guilty of it. Dang. Penalties. Defendant faces the following maximum penalties: incarceration for any terms of years. Thankfully, the judge was nice here, because that could have been bad. Supervised release for 5 years, a fine of $250,000 unless incarceration is imposed, and a mandatory special assessment of $100. In accordance to Rule 11(1)(c), if the court accepts this plea, which they did, the court must include the agreed disposition in the judgment. If the court rejects any part of this plea agreement, the U.S. Attorney may void the agreement and or the defendant may withdraw from it. The defendant may not withdraw the defendant's plea for any reason. I think she learned her lesson. I think you guys would probably agree. Should the U.S. Attorney void the agreement and or the defendant moves to withdraw the defendant's guilty plea, the defendant agrees to waive any defenses based upon the statute of limitations, the constitutional protection against pre-indictment delay, and the Speedy Trial Acts for all charges such as such. Okay, the sentencing guidelines. This is where they get all the guidelines too. We're not attorneys, so we don't need to go through all that. The defendant does have the right to challenge the defendant's conviction and sentence on direct appeal. Do y'all think she's going to challenge this? I mean, she's had a little time she has to do. She has a little time she had to do in jail. She had to do 1 day, according to reports. I don't know. This means the defendant has the right to ask a higher court, the appeals court, to look at what happened in this case. And if the appeals court finds that the court or the trial court or the parties made certain mistakes, overturn the defendant's conviction or sentence. Also, in some instances, the defendant has the right to file a separate civil lawsuit claiming that serious mistakes were made in this case and that the defendant's conviction or sentence should be overturned. Again, I think if what we're hearing is true, this chick got caught red-handed, unfortunately. So I don't know if there's any going back on this one. Obviously, you have civil liability. You have the breach of plea agreement, which we're not going to get into here. Who is bound by the plea agreement? Obviously, everyone involved. Modifications to the plea. Now, this is interesting. The agreement can be modified or supplemented only in a written memorandum signed by both parties or through proceedings in open court. If this letter accurately reflects the agreement between the U.S. Attorney and the defendant, please have the defendant sign the acknowledgement of the plea agreement below. Please also sign below as witness. Return the original of this letter to the Assistant U.S. Attorney in P. And that was signed by Leah B. Foley and, of course, AP. And then, of course, we have here Jessica Leslie acknowledging that she's taking this plea. She read and discussed it with her attorney. The letter accurately presents her agreement with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts. There are no unwritten agreements between me and the United States Attorney's Office, and no United States government official has made any unwritten promises or representations to me in connections with my guilty plea. I have received no prior offers to resolve this case. And then it goes on and so forth. And she just signed this a couple days ago. Wow. What do you guys think about this? This is so messed up, and I'll be interested to see how this affects the FBI's investigation, but it seems like there's a lot more information that's missing, and we're going to get into what possibly could have happened behind this, and then we're actually going to find out and figure out what the connections are here. So let me know what y'all think about this in the comments and in the chat. All right, shout out to y'all. Everyone's telling me this has nothing to do with Karen Reed. Hey, we're gonna figure it out. I'm just saying, we're just saying what's been reported, but thank y'all for letting me know what other people are saying. Oh man. So it's looking like this person just messed up and they let out information that wasn't supposed to be there. Bro, you're putting out misinformation that has nothing to do with Carrie Reed. She was on the grand jury of a CDL and trucking case. Hey, listen. I'm just reporting what's being reported. All right. I promise you it's everything to do with the case from a truck driver and CDL misrep. Oh, so you promised it then. We have the truth, guys. There it is. Michael promised it, so it's true. I don't know. I haven't seen evidence on either way. All I've heard is people saying what they think. All right. So we should be good now. Let me read a couple super chats and then we'll keep it moving. I just went through the documents. Hey, it is what it is. All right. We've got my guy CPE in here with the 20 bomb and says, just getting caught on my class. I appreciate you. Just getting caught up on my classy taxes. Always push yourself and move outside of your comfort zone to improve yourself. I like that message, man. Thank you, CPE, again for the 10 bomb. We've got Dr. EJ in here. My guy gifted 10 memberships. Dang. If you guys got a membership from Dr. EJ, make sure you say thank you. He's always showing up, always showing some love. I appreciate you, Dr. EJ, and thank you for everything that you do as well. And for all of you who just became members, make sure you check out the custom emojis, check out all the members only content we have for you, and you guys get instant access to any videos that we drop here on the channel. So shout out to all the members in the building. We've also got Slim Life in here. It says ClassE, Amy in chat. Love y'all. Be back your time at Hershey Park. Have fun, Slim Life. Let's see. Did you say Jury 11? I love your videos, bro. And we'll continue to watch and we'll be back when we see the truth. Yeah, for sure. And we'll, hey, as more information comes out, we will figure it out. Let me see. What else are we saying? ClassE, this has nothing to do with Karen Reed. That was a grand juror who was on the CDL COP case. Okay, listen, guys, I'm just reading the report. If you got an issue, you go to the Boston Globe, okay? This is just what I'm seeing reported. And I hear you guys are saying, okay, somebody else is telling you that this has something to do with another case and nothing to do with Karen Reed. We will see. We will see. There's information coming from all different sides, and we're going to see and figure out what the truth actually is. I'm tripping this morning. ClassE Beats, this juror is not from the Karen Reed trial. Oh boy. Nothing to do with Karen Reed. This is not about Karen Reed. Nothing to do with Karen Reed. Oh my goodness. All right. We've got the story behind Turtle Boy's name is so funny. Shout out to TB. Finally found out when I heard his interview on the Defense Diaries podcast a week ago. I was weirded out before, but now I can get the visual out of my head. I don't know where his name came from. Amy told me or mentioned maybe where it came from before, but I still haven't heard that whole story myself. All right, we're going to get into, speaking of TB, we got to talk about TB today because TB has been going off. Oh, y'all didn't tell me I wasn't center though. TB has been going off about this entire situation with this grand juror. So let me double check and make sure we're good. Can y'all see me okay? Also, shout out, we had someone over on the Cash App too. Let me make sure I read this. We had, who was it over on Cash App? Shout out to Ingrid dropping the 35 bomb over on Cash App, showing major love. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Amy's saying it. Grand juries cover many cases. I've served on a grand jury. You can have one indictment and then another and then another and another. I don't remember a third. I probably don't even remember a tenth of the indictments we went through when I was on the grand jury. There were so many we went through on the grand jury. So yeah, you just get a lot of information. She probably said the wrong thing. We're actually going to find out what's going on here. Let me double check and make sure I didn't miss anything. One of these days we will still get to watch the cross of Trooper Paul. I will get into that Wednesday. Make sure y'all remind me. We're actually going to talk about Officer Dever today. So we're going to do a rewind to Officer Dever a little bit later. Let's see. They've been attacking ClassE long before the live started. Yeah, they're not attacking me. They're just saying, you're wrong. The title's wrong. It is what it is. Does anyone listen to ClassE? ClassE is reporting on what the Boston Globe wrote. Yeah, and I'm actually reading the official document as well from the U.S. Department of Justice. And again, I don't see where it says anything about Karen Reed. So we have one side that's reporting it has nothing to do with Karen Reed. We have another side that's saying it has something to do with Karen Reed. Who really knows? Amy says, we are aware and report based off ABC and Boston Globe. We're not saying she's a trial juror. Oh, man. Boston Globe will say anything. That's true. Wow, so many haters in here. ClassE never spoken on something you didn't get info about. Yeah, I don't think anybody's hating. I just think people are very passionate about certain sides of this. But let's go ahead and get into this segment of the show, because I know y'all mentioned Turtle Boy, and he had a lot to say when it comes to this situation with this FBI probe and the alleged situation that's going on with this grand juror, and then possibly leaking information about the Karen Reed investigation. So let's see what's going on here. We're going to get into a long discussion about what happened and what people are seeing and the connections that are taking place when it comes to Karen Reed, the FBI, and this grand juror. All right. So TB says, shout out to Turtle Boy. He says the amount of misinformation on both sides about this federal grand juror is wild. The craziest part about this story is that the FBI monitors random anonymous Twitter accounts with less than 1K followers and then takes their phones to find out which one of their girlfriends is gossiping to them about their experiences on a grand jury. Allegedly. That's what TB is saying happened. We'll have to wait and see. So now this is a very interesting series of events and theory that took place on X that I wanted to talk about. Shout out to Dagnabbit, also on X, and had a little bit of back and forth with TB about this situation. I want to read what this says, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this, and if you think it has any weight, if you think the connections are correct or not. So Dagnabbit says, breaking, a juror who sat on the federal grand jury that heard evidence about the FBI investigation into Karen Reed case has pled guilty to leaking secret information. Now, I think the way this is phrased is interesting. So it's a grand juror that heard evidence about the FBI's investigation into Karen Reed. Okay. So that's the Karen Reed connection there, allegedly. Okay. And then it says the witness who testified and what their testimony was. It's not clear yet who Jessica Leslie, the grand juror, leaked the secret info to, or how that information may have been used by the parties who received it. And I think parties here is important because it was made clear by the documents from the U.S. Department of Justice that it just wasn't one person. It was multiple people who saw this information. However, the guilty plea and the news that the federal prosecutors will ask the judge that Mrs. Leslie be sentenced to only 1 day in prison, which she was, and that her sentence be suspended, raises the intriguing possibility that Jessie Leslie may be cooperating with the larger investigation into improper activity related to the federal grand jury and the Karen Reed case. Okay, this again, it's all speculation. It's all legend. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen here? We don't know. We don't know if that's true or not. And then this is directly from the Boston Globe, who essentially broke this story. And what did they have to say? A woman who sat on a federal grand jury that investigated the state's handling of Karen Reed's murder case has been charged with criminal contempt for allegedly leaking information about the secret proceeding. As we know, Jessica Leslie, she was charged, we already read this before, and was charged with 1 count of criminal contempt and has agreed to plead guilty. All right. Leslie is accused of disclosing sealed information about the secret grand jury proceeding between August 11th, and we know when that took place as well, and other evidence presented to the grand jury in violation of federal rules and court orders. So what else does Dagnabbit go on to say? Number one, if somebody posts something on the Karen Reed's Justice Facebook page about a federal grand jury, do not delete it. And that is a direct quote from Turtle Boy from July of 2023. Okay. So what does Dagnabbit say? 2 years ago yesterday, Turtle Boy learned about a potential source of leaked information from the federal grand jury associated with the federal investigation into the Karen Reed case. Interesting. He implored his audience and followers to never delete comments or shut down attempts to contact people who might be leaking sealed info from the federal grand jury, saying, if we're trying to help Karen Reed and help them win this case, do not take comments like that down. And he was speaking, from what I've seen from TB, he was speaking about somebody who helped moderate or manage this Facebook page. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. We don't know yet who Jessica Leslie is, a federal grand juror who admitted today to breaking federal law by leaking secret testimony and witnesses' identities in the Karen Reed federal investigation, shared the sealed information with, but TB's live video from July of 2023 seems very relevant 2 years later. What do you guys think about that? The whole video linked below, but here is an extended transcription. So here's what TB allegedly said during that video. When I say trust me, that means trust me. This is TB talking. And when I say that, that's me kind of covertly telling you I have something, okay? I can't tell you what that something is, but you need to trust me. The other day, somebody on the private Facebook page posted something about a grand jury. Somebody said that I spoke to someone who's in a grand jury, for this Karen Reed case, and they meet every Thursday, okay? And that comment was deleted. And according to TB, that was deleted by someone I guess he had a falling out with and is no longer a part of that group or he's working with. I spoke to someone who's in a grand jury that is in a grand jury for this Karen Reed case, and they meet every Thursday, okay? And that comment was deleted. If somebody makes a comment about giving information about a federal grand jury, that comment needs to stay up. All right? And then he says, if I see a comment like that, I can contact that person and I can have a conversation with them privately, okay? I can say with 100% confidence that the defense probably wants these comments about the Facebook group's testimony up there because they do not know anything that's going on in the grand jury. So if they can find bits and pieces of information, you don't think they're following that page? Trust me, is what he says. Okay. So now they go on to say, I asked TB last night on this live show, because as many of you know, TB went live last night and talked about this. We're going to get into what he said a little bit later. And he said, I asked TB last night on his live show if he helped pass secret info from the federal grand jury to the team of Karen Reed. And he said that he had no involvement whatsoever, directly or indirectly, with leaked information from the grand juror, Jessica Leslie, getting to the team of Karen Reed. He said he just had a Facebook group. Allegedly, this person came to the Facebook group. They posted something in the Facebook group. And the thing that they posted may have or may not have led to them having to be charged with this criminal contempt. And that's what's being alleged. Again, I'm going to say allegedly a lot through this live stream, so y'all just sit tight and get used to it. All right, we've got, as a part of his explanation, TB said that while he certainly wanted to receive details about the identities of witnesses and their testimony at the secret proceeding, which aligns with self-described rant from 2023 about Karen Reed's defense team actively seeking details about what happened inside the grand jury room, he never, in fact, was successful in finding the source connected to FGJ, who would reveal details about who was testifying and what was being said. Of course, he couldn't, because the person who made the comment, it was deleted by someone else within the Facebook community. And as you guys may know or may not know, TB was in communication with Karen Reed, according to him, almost on a daily basis. Karen Reed heard about this person that made the post in this Facebook group and then said, hey, I want to find out more information about this. What's going on here? So check this out. The person who ultimately received the Karen Reed related information that Jessica Leslie leaked, and what they did with that info is not yet known. But if Leslie is cooperating with the feds in an ongoing investigation into the crime she admitted to, we may soon learn the identities of who she shared grand jury secrets with and why. Now, that is an interesting theory. Hasn't been proven. We don't know for sure, but it is an interesting theory nonetheless, because there were multiple people, as implied and as said by the documents we've seen from the Department of Justice, that were involved in this, I guess you could call it a scandal almost. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there, right? Also, Dagnabbit goes on to say, Turtle Boy also said, I got the grand jury testimony. I got the court documents from September. And he said this in 2023. Last night, Turtle Boy told this person that he flatly denied ever receiving secret information from the federal grand jury that was evaluating evidence and testimony from the FBI investigation into Karen Reed's state investigation. His denial was in response to my reporting about the guilty plea from the federal grand juror Jessica Leslie, who admitted to leaking secret grand jury testimony allegedly related to the Karen Reed case. I posted that TB had talked about his live show in July of 2023 about wanting to get a source of info from inside the federal grand jury. He said last night that what he did to get that info, he never did. Interesting. So we're going to play some of that here too. The denial seems to directly contradict what he said on episode 627 of his live show on November 4th of 2023, in which he claims to have got the grand jury testimony that placed Colin Albert at the house at 34 Fairview Road on the night that John O'Keefe was killed. At the 1:59:22 second mark, TB says, there was a point where I was a little bit skeptical about Colin being in the house, and I pushed Leslie, the German, and Karen Reed about it. I pushed them on it and got evidence of Colin in the house. I got the grand jury testimony. I got the court doc from like September or when Brian Albert is the one. That's how Colin was put in the house. Brian Albert was who put him in the house. Brian Albert put him in the house, and the grand jury, he said Colin was there at the party at the same time as them. Boom, done. Got Colin in the house. That's what TB said here. It's a very revealing episode of TB's extended coverage of the Karen Reed case. Link to the full video below. The relevant stuff starts at timestamp 1:17:33. Okay, and it shows it here, and there's a link to the video. Very interesting. And again, TB had to say something about this, and I don't blame him. He said, once again, you are wrong and weirdly obsessed with proving me wrong. The grand jury I was referring to, he says, in the episode was not the federal grand jury. Brian Albert did tell a grand jury that Colin Albert was at the party at the house that night. I have no idea what Brian Albert said in front of the federal grand jury, but I would bet good money that it differs from what he told the grand jury I was referring to. Okay? You're not good at this. Oh man, here we go. He says, and you're too consumed with proving me wrong. It's okay for you to be wrong, just like you were wrong with Sean on the Gulf. I don't know who that is. And his complete inaccurate report of Michael Proctor being fired months before he was fired. Okay, so shout out to TB. Shout out to Dagnabbit. I guess her name is Dara. Is it a guy or a Dara? I don't know. I don't know who these people are. Interesting theory, interesting statements. If you guys want to check out that video that is being referred to here, I can link that for you in the description of this video. And also, we're going to hear from TB shortly, and we're going to see what he has to say on his side about these allegations and what happened and what's going on. Let me know what y'all think in the comments in the chat. I know y'all are upset, man. Why are you guys so upset? Thank you to everyone, all 1,800 of you that liked the video. We've got 3,700 of you in the building. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank y'all for the support. If you guys could, make sure you like the video. Guys, likes are free. All right. And we have an open conversation here. If you guys want to have a conversation, whatever side you're on, we can have that. Just be respectful, okay? And don't spam the chat. My goodness, y'all are going crazy in here. That's not true. That's not the case. How do we find the video? You know what? Let me just click on it and I'll put it in the chat for you guys right now. Hold on. So here's the video and the timestamps are 1:59:22 and 1:17:33. If you guys want to see it for yourself, which we are all about here. I'm not trying to sell you guys one narrative or another. We're just looking at what's being said, what's being reported, and we're going to come up with our own opinion on it. Let me see what y'all are saying. Amy's deleting comments left and right. You guys said fact check. Turtle Boy covered this last night. Has nothing to do with Karen Reed. Well, I mean, allegedly. I don't know that. And shout out to Turtle Boy. I don't know that for a fact. And with all due respect, I think he would respect this too. Just because he said something, that doesn't mean it's true. So I haven't seen the facts to show that yet. And we're going to keep digging and we're going to keep finding out and looking for itself. And we're going to get into what Turtle Boy said as well. But just, I mean, come on, guys. We got to be fair. We got to be objective. Just because somebody says something doesn't mean it's true. So we're going to look at it all. All right. And we'll come to our own conclusion. So they'll go after a juror, but won't spend their time going after everyone involved in this corrupt trial. So dumb. Hopefully they're getting to it because it seems like this investigation is still ongoing. The title of the live says, oh man, Amy always coming through with the facts. What did Amy say? Did I miss it? You guys, please keep aiding out of it. He's got enough problems. That's true. Y'all go support Turtle Boy, man. Go support him. I had the link. I don't know if I have the link to his support in the chat, but I'm sure somebody can find it. Y'all go support this man because he is under attack right now, for real. You guys keep Turtle Boy out of it, or keep Aiden out of it. He has enough problems. He's a single dad and doesn't need this. Oh, I didn't even know that, man. Shout out to TB putting in the work. Shout out to all the amazing dads out there. Dara is a whack job. I wish I could say it in my Boston accent. OMG, we know it's a grand juror, not a trial juror. ClassE said it multiple times. Yeah, we're good. The reason people keep commenting that it's a grand juror and not a Karen Reed grand juror is because of the title. Nobody's attacking. At least I'm not. I'm just trying to be helpful. Oh no, you're all good. You're all good. And that's why I added a question mark to the title. So it's not a statement of fact. It's a question because that's how it's being framed. So we're going to have the conversation about it here. Those jurors are the grand jury for all cases, including the CDL case, the Reed case, etc. Federal grand jurors are summoned for 18 months. Whoo! Dear God, I pray that I'm never summoned for a federal grand jury. Lord have mercy. How much do they get paid for that? 18 months is insane. When I served the grand jury here in Fulton County, it was for 3 months and some change, and I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. It's really one of the things that helped me fall in love with the judicial system and learning about it and understanding at a local level, state level, federal level, how these laws work. But man, guys, it was brutal. It was brutal sitting there going through indictment, hearing statements from police officer after police officer, from agent after agent. Oh man. But you definitely learn a lot about the laws in your county if you're on a federal grand jury, or if you're on a grand jury for your county. It was an amazing experience for sure. Found this channel recently and loving it. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I was on a jury here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and made $18 a day. Oh my gosh. The channel I Don't Belong Here, different break of testimony regarding Colin. Oh my, can you retype that? Because that's tough. That's tough to read, but I appreciate your comment. Those jurors are in the grand jury. Yep. Read all that. I believe the grand jury was investigating police handling of this case. And that's what it appears to be from these documents that we got from the Department of Justice. And that's what it appears was happening there. So I think you're right there. Let me see. I think the juror made a deal to tell more. Wow, you guys really think that? Now that is interesting. And that's one thing Dara or Dagnabbit was implying, is that maybe they said, hey, you messed up. We got your phone. We know you were talking about this and you weren't supposed to. So here's what you can do. Either you can go before the judge and the judge can give you 100 years in prison for this, a $250,000 fine, or you can help us figure out what's going on here. You only have to do a day in jail. You get to pay $100, and then we're just going to monitor you for the next 5 years of your life. Sound good? And Jessica was like, I'm sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, it's tough. There was so many things that I wanted to share when I was on the grand jury here in Fulton County, because some of the stories that I heard on the grand jury were insane in some of these cases that go on here. But you can't do it. It's against the law. You agreed. And that's why Jessica has to pay the price here. The saying goes, a grand jury will indict a hand sandwich, so I don't have faith in them. Yeah, I know, right? Breakdown was really good because it shows that they are all lying and protecting Colin. If you didn't do anything wrong, why are they protecting them? All right, so let's go ahead and get into our next subject again, because a lot's been said about TB. So y'all know we are fair here on this channel, and I had to give him an opportunity to respond. So TB is going to speak out about what happened with this grand juror. As you guys know, a lot of news has been going back and forth when it comes to this grand juror that was somehow involved or saw information involving Karen Reed, not only Karen Reed, but an investigation into what's going on with Karen Reed. So ABC News had this to say. They said the federal prosecutors did not say how they learned Leslie had disclosed secret grand jury information. Jessica Leslie is the juror, but sources said authorities had been monitoring social media accounts and other communications during a case that received widespread attention. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go over to what TB had to say about this. And he actually confronted someone who was making comments on X about this whole situation and somehow trying to tie or connect this to him. And shout out to the person who posted this over on X. Y'all check it out and let me know what you think. And TB actually calls somebody on the live stream. I need to find the link to his live stream and leave it for y'all in the comments too.
Hey, Dara, it's Aiden. We're live.
Dara. That's her name.
Yeah. So look it. I wanted to get you on here about your tweet.
Okay, so look at what that's supposed to mean.
No, about the tweet. It's filled with this information. You're insinuating that I'm somehow involved in this.
What's false information?
Your tweet doesn't imply that rant I had 2 years ago had nothing to do at all with this. Nothing. You know that, right? Had nothing to do with what happened today with Jessica Leslie. Nothing to do with it.
Uh-oh.
Okay. How do you know?
How do I know what? That had nothing to do with it?
Nothing to do with what happened.
So my rant 2 years ago was that Sean on the Gulf was deleting comments on the Facebook group, right, that were from someone claiming to know a grand juror. And Karen Reed saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she saw that the comments were deleted, and she said, "Where did the comments go?" And I said, "I don't know. I guess Sean apparently deleted them." And she said, "Can you ask him to not to delete stuff like that? Because
So Sean, now I'm connecting the pieces. So Sean is the one who was either a moderator or worked closely with Turtle Boy at some point and was helping manage the Facebook page that this information was allegedly posted on. Sean deleted it. TB was like, dude, why'd you do that? And now here we are.
interested in learning more about the federal grand jury
Gotcha.
because we're kind of like in the dark about it. And so I asked Sean politely, what's up?
So she wanted to know.
Yeah, she wanted to know. They're in the dark. They didn't know anything about it. Who wouldn't want to know?
Exactly what you said back then.
So what does that have to do with what happened today?
Yeah, it seems like
What
they're
happened today
weren't
is
good.
Somebody from the grand jury was
Yeah.
apparently leaking
I've never
stuff
heard of
about
Sean
the Karen
personally.
Reed case to somebody, not necessarily you. I'm not saying it was you.
Then what? Of course you're implying it's me.
No, what I'm saying is that back in 2023, you made it clear that people close to Karen Reed wanted information from the grand jury.
Who wouldn't want information from the grand jury if they're just offering it?
You're
Right?
not supposed to offer it.
Yeah, but that's not Karen Reed's problem. That's the grand juror's problem. If they're just offering it up there, you're not required by law to put your fingers in your ear and say, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know how that would work. And I want you guys to give your opinion on this in the comments in the chat. Because if you have someone coming to a Facebook group that's sharing certain information, and if you're in charge of the Facebook group, would you get in trouble or would you have an issue sharing or having a group that's sharing that type of information? And could you be held liable for that? That's something I don't know. I would have to look at the law and ask a federal agent or maybe somebody who's involved with Facebook terms of service. But it seems like you would have some type of protection there. But if it's a private group, I don't know. It's an interesting point.
So what are you implying? Karen Reed did something wrong?
But what did I say that was wrong or inaccurate?
You're trying to tie the two together. That is like you're implying.
Tied together.
You're clearly implying.
You said in 2023 that Karen Reed would be helped by getting leaked information from the federal grand jury. Today we learned that someone on the federal
So you
grand
can be
jury
held
leaked
responsible for that.
information about her case to somebody.
So what they
Got a sentence of a day.
I feel that, Swain.
I'm aware of
Does
that.
clearly imply that this Jessica Leslie person is making some kind of a deal. Yeah, that's speculation. But
It's a lot of.
Why would the Department of Justice put out a big splashy press release about some dinky little, she was talking at a bar or something? It's obviously some kind of a story.
Not the bar.
So what they?
You pretending that it's not.
It's not. So I talked to the person that was visited by the feds today, who was a friend of Jessica Leslie, and the post in question that she got visited by about the FBI was a post about the CDL thing. She knew the CDL thing was happening.
Should you be saying all this?
Yeah.
Jessica Leslie made a deal that was really, really helpful to her. She's not facing time in jail.
So TB's saying that he talked to the person that had communication back and forth with Jessica Leslie. That's interesting.
And she's not getting fined because she made a deal. And now you're sharing stuff that she told someone else about what she was actually talking about?
She didn't tell anyone else this. What are you?
Was it a sidebar?
So I talked to the
Was it a
person that
sidebar?
was visited by the feds today, who was a friend of Jessica Leslie, and the talking
Your source, no.
because my source had her phone taken by the feds. And so they could see her communications between my source and Jessica Leslie.
That makes sense.
The Globe got it wrong today because the Globe sources are.
Oh, go, because God forbid. Oh, the Globe, as we all know, is a beacon of truth and fucking honesty.
That's a fair point too.
They reported. Are you saying that they're wrong?
I don't know who their sources are.
And nobody knows who yours are either.
Okay, so here's this, Dara. So when this grand juror obviously sat on the Karen Reed grand jury, they sit on all of them. We agree with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the nexus of this
Farwell jury too, probably, depending on when that.
well, she was kicked off on March of 2024, so she wouldn't have sat on that. So because he wasn't indicted until August. So we know that the nexus of this investigation into the grand juror was a tweet about the CDL thing. That's how it all started. And from what?
That's interesting.
You're saying that's what started the federal investigation into this.
The grand juror. That's correct.
Yeah.
So they showed me the tweet. It's no longer up. She told me the tweet, visited by the FBI about this one particular tweet. Okay. And then the FBI takes her phone, right? So then they can read all of her messages. So who do you think this tweeter is contacting?
You mean Jessica?
No,
I didn't talk to Jessica.
He talked to the friend.
The tweeter.
Well, my source is the person who wrote about the CDL.
Well, how would they know what Jessica was talking about?
What? They posted about something that only a grand juror would know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't
Yet
know what
they
you
weren't
do
a
if you
grand juror.
received that information.
Okay, I gotcha.
So they obviously got this information from a grand juror, right?
Yeah, you guys. Someone in the chat said, I don't see why he's getting upset with what she's saying, because this guy has already got enough heat on him already. Shout out to TB. He doesn't need more pressure or something else that is going to possibly look like he's connected to this situation. He's saying it's not. I'm out of it. We just had a Facebook group, and that was it. It's not the same thing.
That it was Jessica who was sharing.
Right. So they got this woman's phone, and that's how they found out who Jessica was.
Yeah.
That's the story.
So if this Jessica person was sharing information about the CDL case,
That's right.
what makes you think she wasn't also sharing?
Oh, she very well may have done that as well. But you're making it sound like this is somehow tied to my rant 2 years ago, which I don't appreciate because I had nothing to do with this. You're clearly implying that I knew something I shouldn't have known, when in fact I didn't know a goddamn thing.
No, I'm clearly implying that you were sharing information to your listeners, that you had inside information from Karen Reed's team, that they wanted the information.
Of course, that's just common sense. Of course they want information.
It came out that someone on the grand jury was sharing it. I am not saying that you're the person who was the go-between between Jessica Leslie and the Karen Reed team.
But the Karen Reed team my post made it clear. My post made it clear.
You're not the person who did that, right?
No, my post made it clear.
You're not saying that?
Not saying what?
That you are not the person who was the go-between, directly or indirectly, between Jessica Leslie and the Karen Reed team.
No, I've never met Jessica Leslie, never spoken to her.
Who says met? Ooh,
what?
This is your bread and butter.
Met?
You didn't meet with her and receive documents?
I've never spoken to, met. I don't even know who the fuck. What?
Of course you didn't.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm asking is, were you involved in the transfer of information?
Don't answer that.
Okay.
But why would I be involved in the transfer of information? What evidence do you?
You wanted to help the defense in any way that you
Right. I was frustrated.
Yeah, and shout out to Dara. She already asked him, should you be talking about this? Oh, man. Listen, guys, I'm all about freedom of speech, but me just being me, if I'm involved in current court proceedings and there's possibly FBI investigation that's taking place, I'm not doing all this talking. Jeez, because this is going to be anything you say can and will be used against you. Goodness.
Because we, and I was frustrated because we couldn't. The post was taken down by Sean of the Golf. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Some grand juror comes on here and it says is running their mouth about what's happening to the grand jury. We all want to know the tea. Of course, we're going to ask about that. That's it. But unfortunately,
and then 2 years later, it turns out that somebody was carrying information from inside the grand
so
jury.
what the fuck does that have to do with my rant from 2 years ago?
Because you are the one who revealed that Karen Reed's team wanted inside information.
Wait, I'm the one who revealed. That's just common sense. Of course, Karen Reed's team would like to.
You're the only one who would have known. How can you, out of one side of your mouth, say that you had nothing to do with this whole Karen Reed thing, and out of the other side of your mouth say fairly that you're the reason that you are the person who put the Karen Reed story on the map? Who else would it have been other than you?
That did what?
That did what you did in August 2023. You keep going back to this July 2023 as if, like, what relevance could that possibly happen? You put it out on blast that you were the person to talk to if you had info. You literally said that.
Yeah, if you have info, come forward. And unfortunately, Dara, not a single person has come forward.
Dara.
I haven't found out a fucking thing. If I knew, I wish I knew.
Hey, let the man get his
Like,
money.
you're not getting this? That I wish I knew, and Karen Reed wishes she knew, but we didn't know anything. That's why I was mad that Sean took the post down.
Did get something,
What?
at least according to the Globe reporting. Jessica Leslie's information did get to
It got to multiple people, is what the report says, and what's implied by the Department of Justice.
Karen Reed's team.
No, it didn't.
Well, according to the Globe.
Well, that's not what the Globe quote says. However, two people familiar with the allegations confirmed that she was accused of leaking information related to Reed's case, not to the Reed team, but related to Reed's case. That means that she's on group chats with people. What?
Very fair. I'm sorry. That's right. You're
Okay.
right. That is what the Globe says. It says that she's accused of leaking information about the Reed
Not
case.
two. Not two. That's very different.
I agree. Doesn't mean that it got to the Reed case, the Reed team. I agree with you. That's true.
But
in
it's possible.
In July 2023, you were looking for that stuff.
Who wasn't?
And then,
Who wasn't looking for that in July of
well,
2023?
there was nobody with quite your reach who was doing it.
Yeah, but everybody wanted to know. You would like to know in July. Sean would like to know. Everybody wants to know about it.
I wouldn't mind knowing.
Everybody wants to know everything. We'd all like to see the Epstein list too.
Yeah, but we wanted to see it. So that's not the same. I don't get what you're saying. But either way, I would appreciate if you took the post down because it's incredibly misleading and it makes it seem
misleading. You haven't said one little thing that was misleading. The only thing that I'd be more than happy to do is to say that Aidan Carney flatly denies having anything to do with Jessica Leslie's sharing of information about the Karen Reed grand
well, do you deny it? Why should
How would I know? You're
Well, yeah, here's the problem, though. If he's saying that he talked to somebody either close to the situation, then that's going to be, you can't make that statement. What a mess.
so why is
man.
my denial even worth posting about? Like that implies that there's some suspicion of me.
Yeah,
There's no
just
suspicion of me.
stay out of it.
The only
I'm with you.
thing that makes sense is that I add something that says that you flatly deny that you had anything to do with it.
No, because I don't even want you doing that. First of all, everybody's listening, so I don't even have to do that.
Who gives a shit what you want me to do?
What?
Who gives a shit what you want me to do?
I don't care.
Okay, good.
That's
So,
fair.
You said you would appreciate it if I
Dang.
took the post.
Yeah, I would appreciate it. But if you don't, you don't. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would appreciate.
I would be happy
I wonder
to
who
add,
his source is.
whether you want me to or not, that you flatly deny having anything to do with it.
I don't.
Oh, man, this is tough. What do y'all think about this? We got denials going back and forth. We got someone who's trying to paint a picture of what could allegedly have happened behind the scenes, who was directed where, what was going on here. And then, of course, Aiden's denying it and saying, I didn't have anything to do with this. I believe him, obviously. I don't think he had anything to do with it either. But if there's some connection there, then that's going to raise eyebrows. Potentially, it's going to shine a light on the situation again. Hopefully, that's not the case. But y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments and in the chat. And I see y'all in there going crazy, too. My goodness, man. Thank you to everybody who's in here. What a mess. It's good to be on this side, isn't it? I don't want to have to deal with all this. I don't got time for this. I just know that Turtle Boy has been on this from the beginning, and it all came out mostly true. Okay. He spoke to his source after the news broke, so that doesn't implicate him in anything. His source is the person who caused Jessica to get caught by tweeting about the CDL case. Right. The dude was arrested, and Dara hired him and showed authorities a wire transfer of $8,500, and she claimed it's the payment for a hit. What? Oh my goodness. That is terrible. Shout out to Mark in the building. Good to see you in here as always. She's trying to use him to grow her platform. What a crazy game. Yeah, gossip. Well, I mean, not real. I don't see this as gossip because Aiden's the source and he's saying this is who I talk to. This is how I don't want to say use the term connected, but this is how I have this information. And then you have someone else who's saying, well, it appears from what was being said and what I've seen you communicate in past live streams that you're connected to this specific situation. He's saying, no, that's not what I was saying. I'm saying I was connected here. Man, Turtle said last night, just talked about Chick's friend yesterday and got the facts yesterday. Okay. Hey guys, how you doing? Been busy checking with the grandkids. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. The CDL grand jury was 2022. It had nothing to do with Karen Reed unless someone leaked that some same information or same officers were involved. Okay. So it's being alleged that, or they're saying this grand juror leaked information about the Karen Reed investigation or the investigation into the Karen Reed trial. I don't know. It's all confusing. That's why, and I'm glad sometimes I feel bad because I don't report on things right when they drop. But as we gather information and find out more from a source like TB, from the Department of Justice, and not just taking at face value what the Boston Globe or anybody else is saying, I think that helps us come to a better conclusion. I doubt TB would make false claims. I don't think he would either. She's reporting something with no facts. Yes, it's all a theory. If he was connected, I don't believe he would have called her on his platform. Well, it makes for good content. Who knows? I mean, that's great content. And we're talking about it here. So after the news broke, the friend contacted Aiden and told him it was over the CDL and sent him screenshots or whatever of what happened. The FBI took his source's phone. ClassE said, GL can investigate multiple topics. Yes. During their tenure. Absolutely. Not sure why this is even the thing. Well, a TB, I know he wants to stay out of this and doesn't want to get involved. So I totally and completely understand it, especially when you have someone who's making an entire story out of it and saying, hey, I think this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. This is how TB's connected. I could understand, especially what he has going on, being like, whoa, yo. No, we're not doing that. TB didn't want everyone excited that something was going to happen to the Alberts. He found out yesterday. That's what he does. Find facts. Yeah. Dara who is not Dara. They looked through the grand juror's phone. TB would have been contacted long ago if there was anything there. Plus, they have his phone already. Well, maybe. Again, that's not necessarily true. We know the federal government moves on their own time, so we'll have to wait and see. Shout out to Amy with the super sticker in here. Dropping the cake in. Is it cake time already? Shout out to Amy reminding me it is almost lunchtime. We got to get ready for lunch. We're going to have a little bit of a lighter topic. And we're going to cover this, one, because I promised you guys we would do it yesterday. And two, because of the news that just came out about Officer Dever being in some pretty hot water, potentially. Alan Jackson he's trying to seek justice, and he knows that her testimony on the stand was complete and total BS. So what we're going to do is we'll do a little bit of a rewind, and we're going to go back in time to when Officer Dever was on the stand. This was absolutely amazing. And I know most of you guys saw it, but I think we're going to have a good time rewatching this entire testimony. Check it out.
So, all right. Is there another witness this morning? Okay.
Here we go.
Officer Kelly Dever, could you join us, please?
Okay.
Officer Dever. Oh, yeah. We're getting back into it. Shout out to Officer Dever. This was brutal. Shout out to Officer Token, too. Only black officer in Canton, in Boston.
Jury in case now here to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Good morning. Morning.
Morning, ma'am.
May I inquire?
Yes.
She didn't even
Could
say
you
good
state your
morning.
name and spell your last name for the jurors, please?
Kelly Dever, last name Dever.
And what do you do for a living? Presently?
I'm a police officer,
Where are you employed?
Boston Police.
How long have you been so employed with the Boston Police Department?
2 years and a little over 2 months.
Where'd you work before that?
I worked for the Canton Police.
Were you a sworn officer at that time?
At what time? When
you
I was
worked for the
employed there?
When you were employed by the Canton Police Department?
Yes, I was.
As a sworn police officer?
Yes.
Okay. What was your duty assignment in
This is what
January
did it.
2022?
I was a patrol officer.
You're familiar with the case that's presently before the bench, correct?
In some capacity, yes.
Commonwealth versus Karen Reed.
Yes.
All right. Did you ever prepare any kind of report based on any of your conduct or your connection with this case, if there was any connection with this case, while you were a Canton police officer?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by any member of the Canton Police Department in furtherance of their investigation related to the death of John O'Keefe?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by the Massachusetts State Police?
No.
Let me finish the question. I got to finish the question, then you can answer it. It works a little better that way. Were you
Here
ever
we go.
interviewed by any member of the Massachusetts State Police in furtherance of their investigation into the death of John O'Keefe?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by either the Canton Police Department or the Massachusetts State Police with regard to any of your observations on January 28th or January 29th, 2022?
No.
And you never wrote a report about your observations or any observations that you had on January 28th or January 29th, 2022, correct?
No.
That was a double negative. Let me try that a different way. Did you ever write a report about your observations related to January 28th, 2022, January 29th, 2022?
No.
Thank you.
There you go.
As a matter of fact, the first time you were ever interviewed in connection with anything having to do with this case or this investigation related to the death of John O'Keefe was by a separate law enforcement agency, not the Massachusetts State Police, not the Canton Police Department, correct?
Yes.
That was in August of 2023, is that right?
Yes.
Do you remember the exact date?
No.
August 9th, 2023, does that sound right? About right?
I know it was the summer of 2023, so
Do you think it would refresh your recollection to take a look at a report of that interview?
yes, because I've never seen it before.
Just insofar as the date is concerned, may I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Take a look at the bottom of that page. Just glance at that and tell me once you familiarize yourself with that face page of that report. Okay. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have that date in mind?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection that it was
She knew what was coming.
August 9th, 2023?
Yes.
Okay. I want to direct your attention, Officer Dever, to January 28th, 2022. Where were you working? What was your duty assignment on that day, January 28th, moving into January 29th?
Well, 3.5 years later, I remember I was on patrol. I don't remember anything further about this night.
Did you work
Here goes with
overnight,
the memory.
like a late shift going into the morning of January 29th?
That was my assigned shift, so yes.
Okay. Who else was working with you on that particular day, if you recall?
Sergeant Good, Officer Mullaney, Officer Seraph, and Officer Pasquarelli.
And what generally was your assignment when you went into work that night on January 28th?
Patrol.
At some point, either that evening or the early morning hours of January 29th, did you note that a call came in related to a person found in the snow, unresponsive in the snow?
Yes.
Tell me about that. The nature of the call and where were you?
I was in my cruiser. A call came in that said person in a snowbank, something along those lines. Immediately followed by that transmission, my sergeant requested that I come to take over dispatch.
Is that Sergeant Good?
Yes.
Okay. Did you, in fact, respond back to Canton PD to take over dispatch?
What time was
Yes,
that?
so I was already in the parking lot of the Canton Police while this took place, so I was already at the station.
Did you note whether or not Sergeant Good and or any of the others responded to the location while you stayed back to handle dispatch at the police department?
Yes, that's why I went inside so he could respond.
Were you aware that Sergeant Good, did you have any knowledge at that time that Sergeant Good was familiar with or knew who Brian Albert was?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you know who Brian Albert was at
No.
that time?
No.
Do you now? At least
Because of
familiar
this
with the
case,
name?
yes.
I spoke over you. I'm so sorry. Based on this case, are you familiar with the name?
The name, yes.
Did you know Kevin Albert?
No. Oh, the detective Kevin Albert. Yes, I did.
Correct. How did you know Kevin Albert?
He was a detective for the Canton Police.
Were you aware of his relationship to Brian Albert at that time?
No.
Are you now aware of his relationship with Brian Albert?
Yes, from the media.
And what is that relationship as you know it?
Sustained.
Did you know, sir?
Here goes the whole media
Brian Higgins
situation
at that
again.
time?
Yes, in passing.
I'm not asking if you're social friends, asking if you knew who he was.
Yes.
How did you know
Yes.
who Brian Higgins was?
He had an office in the Canton Police.
Was he a sworn police officer?
Not for us.
Was he a sworn federal agent?
Yes.
Worked for ATF?
Yes.
Why'd she say yes like that? What the attitude for?
How long had you known and been familiar with Brian Higgins? Say, for instance, by sight, to be able to recognize who he was.
Sometime during 2020 is when I was probably first familiarized with him, because that's when I was employed with the Canton Police Department first.
Okay. Pass him in the hallways, hi, bye, things like that.
Yes.
Sustained as to form, Mr. Jackson.
Understood. Did you know him by sight?
Yes.
Could you recognize him if you saw him?
2.5 years later, no, but at the time, yes.
I'm not asking you about right now. I'm asking you back in January 2022. Could you recognize him by
It's a
sight?
simple
Yes.
question, lady.
Did you know who Kenneth Berkowitz was?
Yes.
Who is Kenneth Berkowitz?
He was the chief of the Canton Police.
Obviously very familiar with him. He was your boss, correct?
Yes.
When Sergeant Good
What's up,
instructed you
Mr.
to take
Vegas?
over dispatch, explain what that meant.
It meant I walked inside and I sat down in a dispatch room.
Describe the dispatch room. What did that array look like?
There was chairs and computers.
Monitors?
Yes.
Does the dispatch area also have monitors of internal security camera footage?
Like the Sally port.
I know there was
Yes.
camera screens, but I don't know if they were on TVs or computers or where in dispatch they were.
Yeah, I don't know if it was LG, Dell, ViewSonic. I don't know. Just answer the question, lady.
Don't recollect where they were or how they would be
I don't even know
accessed.
if they were
in the
plugged
room
in.
somewhere.
Yeah,
I
they
can't be
were-
more specific. I don't remember.
But you do recall seeing that there were monitors that were showing different views of internal security camera footage of Canton PD, correct?
The specifics, no. Were there? Yes.
I don't know what you mean by specifics. I'm asking you, were there monitors that you could look at that showed security camera footage from inside Canton PD, different areas, hallways, corridors, offices, the Sally port, for instance?
Yes.
So, 2.5
She
years
don't remember.
since
You
I've.
keep saying 2.5 years later.
So let her finish her answer and then ask a question.
Sure.
It's been years since I've been in that room. They were somewhere in the room. Where cameras were in the Canton Police Department, I don't recall. The media's provided me information since this case took place,
Come on
and I
now.
can't speak on what's my recollection and what's been media provided. There are cameras. I don't know where on my memory
So,
where they are.
so has the media informed you that there were internal security
Objection.
monitors at the dispatch location?
So the objection is sustained. Next question.
She brought it up.
What do you
Dang.
recall from the dispatch room, as you put it? What do you recall being there in terms of monitors?
I remember there was a computer screen that had information about current calls, and then there was a 911 screen next to that. Those are the two computers that I would have been positioned in front of during this time.
Man. Absolutely embarrassing. Yeah, I know Cynthia. The only reason she's
As a
here is because she
dispatch
doesn't want to lose her
By the way, you
job.
were a sworn officer at
Yes.
that time, correct? Uniform, badge, gun, the whole works, right?
Yes.
Had you ever been in Sallyport at Canton PD?
Yes.
What's the Sallyport?
A Sallyport is a garage, essentially.
Okay.
Garage.
You're aware that the Sallyport garage had a camera, a security camera?
It would make sense because that's where we bring prisoners to drop them off.
Well, more than just makes sense. I'm asking you, do you recall that it had cameras that serviced the Sallyport garage? Security cameras.
It's where we brought prisoners, so there would be cameras, yes.
Okay, you're saying there would be cameras. I'm asking you,
Oh
were
my
there cameras?
gosh. This lady.
According to the media, yes. I've seen the footage, so yes, there were cameras.
According to the media, lady, were you there or not? Was this according to the media? According to the media, you know, I had a badge and I was an officer. I don't remember. Was I an officer? I don't know. Was I ever in that building? Jeez, man.
So I'm going to strike that, officer. You have to answer the question based on your own independent.
Thank you.
And if you don't have,
Look at the attitude to the judge. Jesus, man. Put her on the Brady list and get her on the desk. This is crazy. Giving attitude to the judge like that is insane. Wow. I was shocked.
strike that, officer. You have to answer the question based on your own independent. Okay. And if
She
you don't
rolled her
have
eyes and
any-
everything.
But you can't reference what you know from the media.
She's like, Your Honor, I'm trying to lie.
All right. There were cameras in the Sallyport.
Thank you.
She's probably thinking, hey, Judge Bev, this is not what the commissioner told you I needed to do. Why are you doing this to me? I was going to blame it on the media, and you're supposed to help me out. Okay. Jesus.
Ms. Dever, do you want to be here today?
I have no relation to this case,
I
so
didn't ask you that. I asked you if you want to be here today.
Objection. This isn't direct.
So it's your witness.
I understand.
She can. No comments, just questions. Not. I understand that.
Do you want to be here today now?
The only reason I'm here is because I don't want to lose my
I'm
job.
put on the stand in a murder trial. I don't know why I'm here. I have no connection to this case.
You have no idea why you're here?
You've never talked to me. Nobody on the fence seems to talk to me since prior to the first trial. So I don't have any idea why I'm here.
No clue whatsoever, as you sit here, why you might have been called to the stand.
No.
Are you uncomfortable testifying?
No, it's part of my job.
You're a professional police officer, correct?
Correct.
That means you're a professional witness to a certain degree, correct?
In the crimes that I've gone on the stand before, yes, I have been.
And you understand the oath?
Yes, I do.
What is that oath?
The oath is to tell the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
I'll rephrase it. Is there more to that oath when you raise your right hand as a witness?
I'm objecting.
So I'm going to see it sidebar for just.
No, not a sidebar. Oh my gosh. We're not getting the sidebar counter out today. Let's skip through this BS and get this lady back on the hot seat. This is classic, man. What's good, Mr. Brown? Good to see you in here. Loner, you are late. I've already heard that 60 times today.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I inquire?
Yes.
Thank you.
Shout out to the OnlyFans.
One of the cameras, one of the monitors that you had access to back on January 29th did show the footage from, or did it show the footage from that, one of the other Sallyport garage
Officer
cameras?
Dever.
Can you rephrase the question?
Sure, it was a little bit clunky on my part. Did one of the monitors that you looked at, that you had access to at the dispatch area, did it show the video footage or the video feed from the Sallyport garage?
So I already said I don't remember where in dispatch
She
the
don't
screen
know.
with the cameras was. There was a camera in the Sallyport. So
Thank you, Will.
if I'm going to make the assumption, then yes, of course. But now that's an assumption.
Do you remember
I'm
or
asking you
not?
for assumption now. I'm
Jeez.
asking you, did one of the feeds, now we're talking about the camera, the other side of the camera is the feed. Do you recall whether or not there was footage that you could see on a monitor in
Gerard.
the dispatch area that showed the Sally.
I'm going to go with yes.
Okay.
My clarification.
How long?
So I don't know what that means. So what do you mean you're going to go with yes? Is your answer yes?
Come on, Dever. You're cooked anyways. Just go ahead. You can do it. Yes. Say it with me. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, there she goes.
What time about did you
on,
take
man.
over the dispatch desk that morning?
Immediately following when the 911 call came in.
Would have been 6-ish in the morning. Does that sound about right?
Sometime, I would say towards the later of my shift, but it was the middle of winter and dark out, so I don't know if it was 4, 5, 6.
Understood. But it was still dark out.
Yes.
Once you took over the dispatch desk, did you stay there even past your normal shift ending to support the investigation that was ongoing?
Not to support the investigation, I was just on overtime.
Okay. So you stayed past your normal end time of your shift that day?
Yes, on overtime.
You stayed into the afternoon, correct?
I believe the shift ended at 3:45 p.m. for the Canton Police.
But you stayed past your ending shift time, correct?
Objection.
I'm sorry, I'll rephrase it. Did you stay past your ending shift time?
For my regular shift, yes, because I was on overtime on the day shift.
Did you
Loves
observe
giving that
anything
context.
unusual that stood out in your mind that occurred, pardon me, in the Sally Port while you were on that shift?
Oh, sorry.
So we've
guys.
discussed this previously. I can't make that statement on the stand because I've been provided information released by the defense that it was not a memory, that it was a distorted memory. Therefore, I can't state it because at this point it would be a lie. I cannot make that.
It appears that I made a mistake.
What? What did she say? I heard things that reminded me that I lied to a lot of people. So I can't really say that thing that I actually said, because if I do, then I'm gonna get fired.
Stayed into the afternoon, correct?
I believe the shift ended at 3:45 p.m. for the Canton Police.
But you stayed past your ending shift time, correct?
Kelly.
I'm sorry, I'll rephrase it. Did you stay past your ending shift time?
For my regular shift, yes, because I was on overtime on the day shift.
Did you observe anything unusual that stood out in your mind that occurred, pardon me, in Sally Port while you were on that shift?
So we've discussed this previously. I can't make that statement on the stand because I've been provided information released by the defense that it was not a memory, that it was a distorted memory. Therefore, I can't state it because at this point it would be a lie. I cannot make that statement that you're wanting me to make on the stand because I've advised that that would be a lie.
That's just said a whole lot of nothing.
I've never asked you to make a statement one way or the other on the stand. I'm asking you an open-ended question.
Okay,
Did
so
you,
prior to
let
the
me ask
first-
the question. Did you observe something in the Sallyport garage on January 29th, 2022 that
No,
you
she's
found
done.
unusual, that stuck out in your mind?
Kelly Dever Brady.
Given
That's her new
factual
name.
information that makes it so I know I did not, no.
So the answer is no.
Correct.
Do you remember being interviewed on August 9th, 2023?
I
So
do.
you're a liar.
That was by a separate law enforcement agency, correct?
Yes.
2 separate law enforcement agents, is that right?
Yes.
And you were advised during the course of that interview on August 29th of something, correct?
Can you rephrase
I'm sorry,
that?
August 9th.
So what was I advised of? Can you rephrase that?
Sure. Were you advised that lying to those officers would be a crime?
So it was a willing conversation. I've spoken with their legal team. Because of the fact I was provided factual information that showed a statement of mine was a false memory, it was not a lie. Therefore, I made it in good faith, and I retracted given information that it could not be accurate.
Guys,
Do you understand my question?
listen to the thank you, AJ, for this. Listen to the question that AJ asked. The question he asked was, here we go. Were you informed that if you lie to these agents, that is a crime? Ask it again, AJ.
Yes, I did. You threatened to charge me with perjury during our phone call prior to the first trial if I didn't lie on the stand right now. I'm telling you, I did not see anything. Factually, I've been provided evidence by a timeline that it is not correct.
Ms. Dever, my question was this. Were you advised that it was a crime to lie to those law enforcement agents? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
They never told you, they never admonished you that it would be a crime to lie to them?
Objection.
Sustained. As to form, Mr. Jackson.
Sure. Did they advise you of anything? Any consequences of lying to them?
So we had a willing conversation.
Yes or no?
I don't recall.
So, okay, there's your answer.
You don't recall if they advised you of anything?
No, because it wasn't.
As a trained law enforcement agent.
Go
don't
ahead and ask
remember.
a question, but both of you only one at a time, okay?
As a trained law enforcement officer,
Jeez.
are you aware that it's a crime to lie to certain other law enforcement agents?
When you have intent to lie, yes.
Okay. So you knew that when you spoke to these law enforcement officers, correct?
Yes.
Did you tell these law enforcement officers that you, in fact, saw Brian Higgins and Chief Berkowitz go into the Sally Port with the
Objection.
SUV? May I finish my question?
You can finish this question. Go ahead.
Did you tell those law enforcement agents on August 9th, 2023, that you saw Brian Higgins
This was
and
wild.
Chief Berkowitz go into the Sally Port together and alone with the SUV for a wildly long time?
Did you tell them that?
That was my recollection at the time.
So you did say that?
At the time, that is what I recollected.
Okay.
Come on, Kelly.
Did you indicate that you noted Let me have just a moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
You and I spoke, along with Mr. Unetti and Ms. Little, on a conference call last year sometime. You remember that?
Yes.
Between the time that you were interviewed on August 9th, 2023, and when we spoke sometime in maybe it was April or so of last year, does that sound about right?
Yes.
Did you have any conversation with any other party about your potential involvement in this case?
No.
Did you have a conversation with anybody in the commissioner's office at Boston Police Department?
Not about anything malicious.
I didn't use the word
What?
malicious. Why do you say malicious?
I had a conversation, but it was my department saying, regardless of what I need to say on the stand, they support me.
You were asked to go to the commissioner's office, correct?
Yes.
How long
This is
had you
crazy.
been on the Boston Police Department at the time that you were invited to go up to the Commissioner Michael Cox's office?
It had to have been before the first trial, so... And I know it was when the agency released information to outside people.
That's not my question.
Okay, so I don't recall.
Okay. You don't recall how long you had been on the force, generally, at the time that you were
Commissioner
called
doesn't even know who she
on
is.
the Boston Police Department.
No.
He said the
Was it
person.
5 years, 2 years, 2 months? Give me a ballpark.
So I've been on the department for 2 years and 2 months. I would say somewhere in the range of a year.
Okay. Did you find it unusual for would you call yourself a rookie back then?
Yes.
Did you find it unusual that a rookie police officer would be called up to the commissioner's office personally to discuss a matter?
It was a reflection of how good of a leader he is. It was not anything that I found unusual, given the fact he is someone who wanted to show support for his officer.
So all
And
of your
the commissioner now somewhat backed this up and said, hey, listen, guys, I was in Michigan when the whole Karen Reed situation went down. I didn't get there until about 4 months later. I called all 3,000 plus of these officers to my office to say, hey, make sure you guys, he was like this, make sure you guys do the right thing. Y'all buying it? I mean, that's what he's saying. He said, and Kelly is saying here, he was a good leader because he wanted to speak to the rookies. He wanted to say, hey, when you guys get up there on the stand, make sure you do the right thing. When you guys are practicing here, make sure you do the right thing. That's the story that they're telling, the commissioner and Officer Devon.
rookie police officer would be called up to the commissioner's office personally to discuss a matter.
It was a reflection of how good of a leader he is. It was not anything that I found unusual, given the fact he is someone who wanted to show support for his officer.
So all of your I'm guessing all of your training class or all of your entry class in the Boston PD, they've all gone up to the commissioner's office as well?
I don't know anyone else who's been in this particular circumstance.
Do you know anybody else who's been called up to the commissioner's office at your level at the Boston Police Department?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you know of any of your colleagues with your level of experience that have been called up to the commissioner's office for a specific instance?
Objection.
That's sustained.
Now, when you went up to the commissioner's office, did you respond to his indication that he wanted to see you open his office?
It wasn't a direct line of contact from him.
Okay. Did you respond? Did you ultimately go? That's what I mean by respond. Did you go to his office?
He's my boss, so yes.
Okay. And who else was in that office?
Me. And him. The two of us.
General counsel for the Boston Police Department?
No, it's just me and him.
In the conversation we had last year, did you say that general legal counsel for the Boston Police Department was also there?
Objection.
Not during that conversation.
Objection.
Next question.
Sure. Was there another time that you went to the commissioner's office where general legal counsel was there?
Good grief.
No.
Have you ever met general legal counsel for the Boston Police Department?
Taco
Yes.
Tuesday said she was
Was it
on
in
the
the
desk.
commissioner's office?
Oh, Lord.
No.
When was it?
During my conversation with the agents.
You took a lawyer with you to talk to this other law enforcement agency?
I'm going to see you at sidebar on this.
Oh, man. AJ was going in. We don't need a sidebar, man. Bring her, you know what, back up here. She's getting cooked right now. She said he kept calling me Monica and I didn't know why. I just went to his office and he said, "Hey, Monica, how you doing today, Monica?" Hey, yo. I didn't understand at the time. Yeah, that's crazy.
May I continue, Your Honor?
Shout out to
Yes.
Bill Clinton.
Thank you. Ms. Dever, when we left off, I was asking you about the meeting at the commissioner's office. And I want to clear this up. Was general legal counsel in that office or not when you had a meeting with the commissioner, Michael Cox?
No, it was just me and the commissioner.
At some point, did the commissioner say to you that Boston Police Department, insofar as your connection to this case is concerned, Boston Police Department fully supports you?
Yes.
Did he also say, do the right thing?
That's a direct quote, so I can't recollect if he said a direct quote 2 years ago.
A year ago, when you talked to us, the defense, did you tell the defense that when you were called up to the commissioner's office, he told you two things? Commissioner Cox told you, number one, the Boston Police Department supports you, and Officer Deaver, do the right thing.
So he said my name correctly. He said Dever, and
That's my mistake. Let's see, you want me to repeat the question so I get
So,
it right?
Mr. Jackson, let's go ahead and answer, please.
yes, and he said nothing with the intent of guiding me one way or
I
the
asked you
other.
what his intent was, madam. I asked you what he said to you. What were his words to you?
That he supports me.
And
Just wanted me to tell the truth up here.
his words were, do the right thing, correct?
She don't know.
I don't recall.
Oh, man. I got to hear. Okay, I was going to stop it here, but we got to get at least one Officer Dever from AJ.
How many other times have you testified in a court of law?
We got to get at least one Officer Dever from him.
During the course of your job?
Two dozen, 3 dozen.
Multiple
Probably
times.
testified. Probably ballpark a dozen times.
In any of those other cases, has Commissioner Michael Cox called you up to his office to discuss your testimony in any of those cases? Yes or no?
That's not a yes or a no answer.
Well, yes, it actually is, Ms. Dever.
So no comments, okay? Just
Do you understand the question?
The question, yes. The implication,
The question is, in any of those, I'm asking you an open-ended question. In any of those cases, Officer Dever,
There it is.
not including this one,
There it is.
Commissioner Michael Cox ordered you up to his office to discuss your testimony.
no.
Thank you.
There it is. There's the Officer Dever that we were all waiting for. Officer Dever. She did look like she was about to cry. This was on June 2nd. So about how many weeks is that now? 6 weeks ago. My, how things have changed in 6 weeks. As a manager for most of my life, there is one real thing about having another female in the office if you're meeting with a female. I agree. That would be the smart thing to do. Shout out to my guy, Will Wallace in here, showing major love. Appreciate you, Will. With the 20 bond says Kelly Dever has a gun, guys, and a badge to back it up. You call the police and she shows up. Great. No. I hope that never happens for anyone. Seeing this testimony, especially. Oh man, Friday is a month since Karen Reed was acquitted, which is amazing. Imagine getting pulled over and having to deal with this snotty, you know what? Oh my goodness. Officer Dever. It's my favorite part of the entire trial. I'm not gonna lie. All right, guys, thank y'all for the love. This has been an amazing show. Over 3,100 of you liked the video. We still got so many of y'all hanging out with us. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time we go live. Also, if you could, make sure you like the video on your way out. I appreciate everyone that's did that. I also want to give a big shout out to everyone who went the extra mile and supported via super chats. A shout out to Ingrid over on the Cash App, Les Cleaver, Kara Hampton in the building, my guy CPE, Dr. EJ, the man himself, Slim Life, Will Wallace, and then of course my awesome, amazing Amy up in here. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. You know, we will be back tomorrow ASAP. So make sure, again, you guys don't miss out on that. Always, you guys know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. We gone.